Well, I know you're wondering, Ken, why do I need to invest in a USD money market fund? Again, a question that has come to me like I think 4 times this past week. And people have been asking me why they should invest and if they should invest in USD money market funds. Now, USD money market funds are definitely a good option for you. But like I always say, you always have to understand why you're investing in something. Don't just invest because it's nice to say that, oh, I have a USD money market fund. I have a dollar money market fund. I have a dollar account. It can be nice to say, to brag amongst your friends when you're having fun, but it's not your main reason for investing in a USD money market fund. So why do you need to invest? What are the advantages of investing in a USD money market fund? That's one question. And then the second bit I'm going to address is which are the best money market funds or USD money market funds at the moment in Kenya. So if you've been looking into kind of, find access to other currencies, then this would be a good opportunity for you. And then you'd want to delve into each of them and make sure that you have all your facts right before you invest in any of them. So I'm going to give you a list. I'm not affiliated to any of the companies, so make sure you know what you're doing. And I'm just giving you a list based on returns at this moment, not based on any other factors, okay? And that's a disclaimer that I have to give because some people may think that I'm, working for any of these companies. I'm not. I give you based on our returns because what we care about as investors are returns. Remember, here at Ken's Money Matters, talk about the money mindset, how to make that money, how to enjoy that money, how to invest that money, how to enjoy a lifetime of income, basically financial freedom. And by the way, before we get into the reasons, let me mention this. Investing in a foreign currency can be good, especially if your earnings are majorly from that currency. So you could be living in Kenya, you could be living in Africa, but your earnings are majorly from a different currency. So it could be from USD, US dollar, or from the GBP or from the euro. In that case, it's easier for you and better for you because you avoid a lot of risks not converting that money. So it's better for you to actually just open an account that uses that currency. So it's much easier, right, to maintain, to deal with, and without dealing with all the exchange risks that you would deal with in a normal scenario. The second thing is if you're earning Kenya shillings or let's say local currency, if let's say in Africa, and you're earning local currency, I'm not saying you shouldn't be investing in a USD money market fund. You should, right? And why I'm saying that is because sometimes people think that, oh, if you leave the country, now is the time to open a USD money market fund. And if you are in Kenya, it's the time to have like a Kenyan. No, you can do both. You can be in Kenya earning in a foreign currency, and it's just good and advisable to have an account for the currency in which you're earning your money. Advantages of investing in a money market fund, in a USD denominated money market fund. By the way, in Kenya, unless they mention that it's not denominated in Kenya shillings, unless they mention, then most of them are Kenya shillings denominated. But if they mention, then it means that it's denominated by a foreign currency. So they will always tell you. So one of the advantages of investing in them is diversification, obviously, right? So if I have a money market fund, a Kenya shillings money market fund, and I have like some money in there that's a good amount of money, I would want to diversify. In my last video, I spoke about diversifying across money market funds as well. So I would want to diversify and say, okay, cool. I'm investing in Kenya shillings. It would be nice to get some level of exposure with other currencies in case something happens to the Kenya shillings. So basically, in that case, you've diversified. If you have 1 million Kenya shillings and part of it is invested in a Kenya shillings money market fund, then the other half is in a USD money market fund. You diversified in the sense that if anything were to happen to our Kenya shillings, then you still have your money market fund in USD. You can transfer money and still use it as usual, right? So diversification is a big one. The second thing is eliminating the local currency risks. So of course there are risks associated with any currency. Like you can see the temperatures in Kenya are always like just fluctuating, the political system, and things are always just, so unpredictable, right? And these things do affect the economy. Our economy is dependent on the political, the social system, right? And you have to make sure that you are somehow trying to evade the risks that come with investing fully in Kenya shillings. So you eliminate the risk of just investing in one single currency. So that's another advantage. If you want to know that you're safe despite what happens, eliminate all the risk when it comes to exchange rates, eliminate the risk when it comes to the value of the Kenya shillings, then this is the best way for you to go. Then the next one, which you might not care about, is it reduces the outflow of foreign currencies from the country. If we invest in foreign currencies within the country, then we are reducing the amount of money that's leaving our country as foreign currency. And remember, foreign currency being in the country is a good thing. Long story, right? But foreign currency being in the country is a good thing for the economy. It's a good thing for foreign indirect investments. It's a good thing for the strength of the Kenya shillings. It's a good thing for reserves. There's so many reasons that make having that money locally an advantage to us as investors or people who are operating within the country, economically speaking. I know most of you would be like, oh, I don't care about what happens in the country, but you're part of that ecosystem. And so whatever it is that you do affect that ecosystem one way or the other, whether you like it or not. So you want to reduce the outflow of foreign currencies from your country, make your country a little bit stronger. What happens? Then you invest in a USD money market fund because you're contributing to that ecosystem of ensuring you have enough reserves of foreign currencies within the country. Then, of course, the obvious reason of making profits, right? So you want to make money, you want to make profits, you want to invest because you're going to make some money out of the differences in currencies. So, for example, sometime back, Kenya shillings was like really, really low against the dollar. You could take advantage of that price difference and make profit, what we call the speculative profits or speculative advantages. So you could be speculating against these two different prices, and when there's like a difference that you could make profit in, you make profit. So I could be putting money in a USD money market fund and some money in a Kenya shillings money market fund. When the dollar gets stronger against the Kenya shillings, I might be doing some exchanges to take advantage of that difference. When the Kenya shillings gets stronger again against the dollar, I might be taking advantage of that difference as well. So it's just for speculative purposes and making money, right? So profit is always the driver of all our decisions when it comes to investing. You want to see the return on investment, you want to see profits, you want to see some kind of money getting into your pocket. Then one of the biggest one is hedging against your portfolio. So let's say you have a large portfolio. You have like real estate in Kenya, you have stocks in Kenya, you have bonds in Kenya, you have bills in Kenya, you have money market funds in Kenya. What happens next? You want to ensure that you actually hedge your portfolio somehow. What is hedging? Just making sure that you cushion it, you support it in terms of what could happen if the Kenya shillings was to, mess you up. So hedging a portfolio is basically giving it a bit of like a lift, like a cushion. In case Kenya shillings drops or the economic environment turns all messy, you have your USD money market fund to turn to, and you can then bring in what we call foreign currency, take advantage of, let's say, value additions. You could find that the Kenya shillings have gone so low and therefore prices have become quite good for certain things. You can then take your USD, come into the country, buy things at a very nice value, and then invest them. So it hedges your portfolio basically. It just means that you're not going to lose so much in case things turn against you so fast. In Kenya shillings, that is. So those are some of the advantages. There could be more advantages, but it also gives you like exposure to world markets, right? Once you have a USD money market fund, you could be using that money to then buy other things that are denominated in that foreign currencies. It makes it easier for you. So it gives you that kind of access to, I would say, the world. It gives you access to other global things that you could then invest in. Now, having said all these amazing things, what are some of the best money market funds as of now, 2024, October, right? 2024, October, or October 2024. Anyways, so what are some of the best money market funds, USD money market funds that you could invest in now? I'm going to do this based on returns, like I mentioned. So if you want to invest in any, make sure you do your due diligence and you know what you're investing in. So the first one we're going to invest in is, not investing, but the first one that gives the best return is Saiton. As of October 2024, Saiton Money Market Fund is a USD money market fund. Remember, it's given an effective annual rate of 7.26%. An effective annual rate of 7.26%. We have Kuza Money Market Fund, again, giving 7.26 as well. We have Etika Money Market Fund, giving 6.57%. Those who know Etika on the Kenya shilling side know how much we're making there. Dry Associates Money Market Fund, again, giving 6.4%. Then we have Jubilee Money Market Fund, and that is giving 6.35%. And then we have Absam Money Market Fund, and that's giving 5.60%. Then we have Sanlam Dollar Fund, that's giving 5.48%. And then we have Old Mutual Dollar Market Fund, it's giving 5.34%. Then we have CIC Dollar Fund, that's giving 5.28%. And we have KCB Money Market Fund, that's giving 5.09%. And last but not least, at number 11 is NABO Africa Money Market Fund, giving 4.73%. Now, if someone would be asking, why do we have very low interest rates compared to the Kenya shillings money market fund? For obvious reasons that the dollar is stronger. Anyone earning an interest of 7% on the dollar is equivalent to anyone earning, 16, 17% on the Kenya shillings, obviously. If you were to come here in the West, in London, New York, and invest in the same money market funds, you'll be getting around 4%. And that's a very good one. That's considered really good. Because why? Because number one, the dollar is quite strong. And number two, by the way, these money market funds are rated. These debt securities that they invest in, there's a rating behind the debt securities they invest in, and that rating affects the value of those investments. There is what we call a Standard & Poor rating for all the debt securities that are, I would say, national or international, right? So once they invest in them, this kind of value. So we could say, oh, I'm getting 18%, but the risk you're taking from that particular investment is much higher than if you're getting a bit lower, because then it's rated quite highly, and the risk of default is almost nil in some of these investments, especially in the West, right? So back in Africa, they could be saying, oh, this is a higher return, but the risk you're taking is much higher, of course, and the rating is much lower for those particular debt securities that this particular money market funds are invested in. That's complicated, but I hope it makes sense. Ask me any questions. Guys, let me know what you think about this. If you're investing in money market funds, are you thinking about USD money market funds? Do you have any? What do you think is the reason you want to invest in them or add them to your portfolio? Let me know in the comment section below, and ask me any questions. I'll try as much as possible to answer. Till next time.